Hi, everyone. Welcome to Dance and Territory. I'm Nicole, and today we're going to talk about fall, the fall harvest, Halloween, and Samhain. So, you may notice that here where I am in Córdoba, Argentina, we are in the fall season, the autumn season. You can already see the plants losing their leaves, some of them going dormant. And we are heading into the dry season. Today is raining, fortunately. It was a nice surprise, but we are going to begin the dry season where I live. Winter is very dry. What energies are we dealing with at this time? Like I said, the forest is beginning to go inwards. The energies that were summer energies, lots of life, sun, that's all changing. The days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer, there are less insects buzzing in the air. We're seeing the last flowers blooming, and some animals hibernate. All the snakes hide out, go under the rocks. So we're in a transition time. The energy is shifting from summer to winter. And this is also a transition time for us. Of course, we are living beings, we're animals, we're part of this land. So we are also transitioning in our bodies from that summer energy to that winter energy. And we're starting to go inwards. So our activities will begin to change. Of course, this may look different for you depending on where you live. Of course, as always, here we are celebrating the harvest of both the native seeds and native plants, as well as all the agricultural crops. As far as the native seeds go, we have been lucky to and fortunate to be able to harvest different seeds and fruits for food, and also to be able to collect different medicines from special herbal plants that we can find here. So during this time, I have been collecting all of that. Summer and fall here is the main time for all of that. I'm still collecting native seeds and planting those seeds so that we can have new growth and new life. And as far as the agricultural crops go, we're harvesting squash, corn, wheat. All of that is happening right now. And so we have the harvest festivals. Here in Argentina, we eat something that is called locro. It's a traditional stew, I guess you could call it, of everything that's being harvested right now. We have squash, corn, beans, and different animal parts from cows and pigs. That is also part of the harvest. That's also part of what is happening right now. It's really yummy, locro, and we make a huge part of it, and we get together in large groups as a community, and we celebrate this harvest. We celebrate our community bonds, our community connections, and our connection to the land. If you live in the US, which many of you watching this video probably live in the US, you will be celebrating maybe Halloween, Thanksgiving. You're starting to head into that time of all the end of the year festivities. And you might be thinking, well, what is all this? What does this mean? Where does this come from? Of course, Halloween. Well, Halloween is a very modern capitalistic invention distorted. Now, don't get me wrong, like when I was a kid, I had so much fun celebrating Halloween, dressing up in different cool costumes, going trick or treating, getting all this candy, stuffing my face with candy, decorating the house with all of these fun things. But when we think about it, it's a pretty big impact. All this plastic, all these sugary foods. In adults, a lot of it is also like getting dressed up and going to parties and getting drunk, and it's kind of like you think, well, what is all this about? What is this? And it does come from a spiritual place. Obviously, it's been very distorted. If you are interested in connecting with the more spiritual side of this season, I encourage you to check out Samhain, Day of the Dead. Samhain, I don't want to go too much into Samhain because although I do practice in my personal spirituality, this is a Irish festival. I'm not from Ireland, so I don't want to be appropriating that culture. But I am reconnecting with all of that. And Samhain means summer's end. It is this time of transition that we are going through from summer to winter, or fall as we now know it. And because it is a liminal time, a transition time, where physically we see all these things changing, it is also a time where the spiritual world becomes more noticeable, more present, where it becomes closer. That's why in Samhain, and we see in many cultures, you would celebrate your ancestors and honor your dead during this time of year because they're much closer. That's why you see Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, in Mexico. This is the time of the year to do that. So if you are interested in seeing what all this is about, in connecting to the spirit of the season in a way that's not so commercial and superficial and artificial, like Halloween, check out Samhain. And I encourage you to, if you're interested in connecting with Samhain, check out native Irish sources. I recommend the Irish Pagan School. I'll leave links to that in the description below. They're a great school. They have a ton of free resources, even just here on YouTube. Just check out Irish Pagan School Samhain, and you will be able to hear from native Irish people what this is all about, and to see how you can connect to this in an honorable, respectful, and authentic way. And maybe it'll change how you celebrate this season. It has been a game changer for me. I've definitely really enjoyed celebrating this season, and I personally am connecting to my ancestors. I have my altar for the ancestors and for the dead that I am honoring each night. So if you are interested in that, I encourage you to check out those voices. And there are many other resources. Make sure you're checking out native Irish resources if you want authentic material and not just some video that was created by artificial intelligence with pretty pictures and you don't really know what the content is. Even if you're Christian, even if you're Catholic, you can still investigate what this means. We know that Roman Catholicism in its traditions has a lot of European paganism in it. So many pre-Christian European traditions are within Catholicism today. Check out where our practices are coming from. It can really open your mind. And if maybe you don't feel called to connect with Samhain, maybe you don't like Halloween, maybe you don't feel called to connect with Samhain, look at the land, observe the land where you live, see what's happening around you, what's going on. Maybe all of this, what's happening here, all the leaves falling, everything, maybe that doesn't happen in your area. Maybe this time of year looks very different for you. What is going on? Check out the native, uh, observe the native plants in your area. Observe the native animals, the cycles of life, what's happening. Check out the voices of people from your native community, the native nations. What are they saying that's going on? What practices do they have during this time of year? Connect to the land where you live. Connect to the land where you live. Feel the presence. Feel the earth turning. What happens in your body as this goes on, as the earth turns, as the days get shorter and the nights get longer? What's going on? How are you feeling? These are all things to have in mind as we transition into the winter, which is the coldest part of the year in many places. What do you desire for this winter? What do you need to survive this winter? This is also what this time is about. It's about preparing for the winter. Maybe a lot of us nowadays are not at risk during the winter. Maybe some of us are. Do we have the proper firewood or whatever we need to heat our homes? Do we have the food that we need? Our health? This was surviving the winter was no small feat for our ancestors. And this is what this time is about too. It's about the cycle of life and death. I think I got everything in. I'll be talking about other fall and winter holidays in future videos that have this a similar theme to them. But I hope you enjoyed this information. I would love to hear in the comments below how you celebrate this time of year where you live. What traditions do you have? What customs do you have? How do you honor this time of year when we head into winter?